Hey everybody, I want to welcome you to another timeout. Now, today we're talking about anxiety. Have you ever felt like you just could not catch your breath, or that you felt like you were choking, or there was a heaviness on your chest? Your muscles get tight and you begin to sweat, and all you can see is things happening in the worst case scenario for you, and you don't know how to get past it. Well, if that's you, if I'm talking to you, then this timeout's for you. Hey everybody, my name is Joshua Fakir, and I am co-founder of JS Fakir and the creator of Timeout. The purpose for Timeout is to be a source of encouragement to many of you who are going after a dream or some sort of goal in your life, and you know that the part of this journey is dealing and overcoming obstacles. It can be discouraging at times when you feel like you're not making any grounds. And so my purpose for Timeout is to have a midweek motivation set up specifically for you to come and get content that's going to help you to be relentless when going after your dreams. So, anxiety. Did you know that according to the Anxiety and Depression Association of America, 40 million people in the US alone who is 18 and over suffer from anxiety? That's nearly 18.1% of the United States population. That's way too much. In fact, studies show that people who suffer from anxiety are 3 to 5 times more likely to see a doctor than those who do not suffer from anxiety. And also, they are 6 times more likely to be hospitalized for some sort of psychological disorder than those who do not suffer from anxiety. Listen, you're hearing from someone who had his own bout with anxiety. I remember in my own life, maybe 12 years ago is when it really rocked me. When after my son was born, my wife and I, we got married young, and we were, just going after our dreams in life. And then not too long after we got married is when we had our first child, and it was my son. And I remember when he was maybe approaching 1 year of age, I'm just still dealing with the fact that I'm a father, I'm a husband. I'm trying to provide a good life for my family. I was still in school finishing up my education. And then also at the same time, I'm working because I still got to bring home money to take care of our family. And then also as part of my studies, I'm responsible for acquiring a certain amount of clinical rotation hours in the week. So it's safe to say that my plate was pretty full. And the thing about anxiety and stress is that stress is one of those silent things that creeps up on you, and you don't know how stressed you are until you have some sort of physiological reaction. And that's what happened to me. I remember that it got to a point where my health was impacted. I was 21, 22 years old, seeing a doctor for my blood pressure. I remember being stressed out and having these anxiety attacks. And the thing about it is that, anxiety right now, it's proven that some of the symptoms of anxiety is feeling like you can't breathe, or feeling like there's a heaviness on your chest, and you feel like you're trying to catch your breath. And then your pulse begins to race, and your heart rate is racing, and then you start to sweat. Even your muscles respond because it begins to tense up, and now you're shaking. And so these are all symptoms of anxiety and stress that is just compounding upon you. And then so now you don't know what to do, and it's scary because for me it was to the point where I had to ask myself at times if I needed to go to the hospital. And so stress and anxiety can have these impacts on you physiologically, and it's when it's after it amounts or accumulates to a certain level until you realize you actually have a problem. And in fact, for me, I think the moment that the tipping of the scales was that one time I got up and I was getting ready to go out for my day of school and work and rotation and dropping off or picking up our son, and I got up in the morning and I was brushing my hair. And in the process of brushing my hair, I remember that a patch of hair fell down my face and landed in the sink. And I stood there, y'all, and stared at this hair in the sink and looking in the mirror at this bald spot. And my hair was falling out, and I remember I'm standing there asking myself, what is happening to me? What is happening to me? And that's when I knew that I had to make certain changes in life if I was going to get over this hump, if I was going to find a way to battle and overcome anxiety. And today I want to share with you just 3 things that I did and implemented in my life. There's so many techniques out there, but let me share with you 3 things that really helped me. And this was over 12 years ago. And the thing about anxiety is once you overcome it, It's not that the fight ever stops. You spend your time continually to fight to make sure it doesn't take over you like it once did before. And so one of the 3 techniques that I want to share with you, and I really hope this helps you because we are in trying time. There's so much going on around us, so much fighting for your attention. We have the election, we have this COVID crisis, we have this economical situation where people are losing their income and don't know how they're going to provide for their family. And all of these things that are fighting for your attention externally, it can contribute to a fight that happens internally, and that's us fighting against anxiety. And so the first step is learning different relaxation techniques. This is just not something that is just people just say for fun. There's studies to prove that just breathing techniques alone can help to bring down the levels that's inside of you. When you start to experience anxiety, then your body, your sympathetic nervous system begins to release adrenaline to flow through your body, which causes your levels to go and you get into this panic state. And what happens is when you learn different relaxation techniques, it's proven that you begin to release neurotransmitters that dampens the effect of these different adrenalines that's running through your body. And so when you start to sit there and you learn how to breathe and breathing techniques, and some people, they meditate. For me personally, what helped me through that state is praying, learning just to pray and to talk to God and release my thoughts out loud. Because as long as your thoughts are on the inside, it can consume your mind, and before you know it, it's one thought after the next, and that's what you call a train of thought. And so I had to learn how to release my thoughts out loud, and I had to pray and talk to God to help me. And so you learn different ways to breathe and to bring down the levels in your body. That's going to help you to calm down and get your breathing back, to lower your pulse, to get your heartbeat to stop racing. And so there's different relaxation techniques that are out there, many good resources. I definitely implore you to go and check them out of what can help you. Different techniques work for different people. As for me, my go-to again was prayer. But once you learn these techniques and begin to apply them in your life, that's going to help you to overcome some of those moments when you're feeling most anxious. That was number 1, just different relaxation techniques. The second thing that works for me, the thing that worked for me, and I want to encourage you to do, is to learn how to confront those thoughts. You know, once those thoughts, like I said, that train of thoughts begin to go, it starts to take you down different rabbit holes. And a lot of them are worst case scenarios you begin to just entertain. And in some cases, some of those negative thoughts have nothing to do with your situation. You were concerned about a test, and now you're afraid you're about to die. You know, because of all your thoughts just begin to take you on a whirlwind. You have to learn how to confront those thoughts. Let me give you an example. You know, when this whole COVID crisis started back in February, March, you know, I was talking to my dad one day, and I heard him. He was out going for a walk, but it sounded like it was an intense walk he was on. I mean, he was, you know, I can almost hear the concern in his voice. So we called my dad Poppy. I said, you know, hey, what's going on, Poppy? And he said, man, I'm outside, I'm walking, you know, I was feeling this symptom, and I was feeling this way, and this symptom came over me, and all of, and then he was afraid that he was coming down with the coronavirus. And so I had to say, you know what, we had to confront those thoughts. And I said, well, you know what, everything you said to me, it doesn't sound like any of the symptoms that you should be concerned about. Is because when you think about it, this is not part of it. This was not something that was, identified as a concerning symptom that if you're experiencing. And I said, in fact, you're outside on this intense walk, which tells me that your breathing is pretty good. And he said, you know what? After talking to you, I'm actually starting to feel a lot better. His thoughts was beating him down one after another. And then once he began to confront those thoughts, I told him, I said, you know what, you're probably not experiencing anything more than gas, or some sort of anxiety. But but your thoughts would, if you're not in control of your thoughts, and if you're not confronting them to say this is not true, or maybe this could be it, then all of a sudden everything is true. and your thoughts can bury you. And that's when you start to feel that impending doom, like the world is closing in on you. So you have to be able to confront every thought that comes into your mind. Even if it comes in like a flood, you got to have a divide to say, this one goes here, this one keep. Discarding, this one I can keep. Because if you're not doing it, your thoughts can consume you and make you feel like you're just being flooded with emotion. And that takes me to step number 3. Step number 3 is having people in your corner that you can reach out to. Please don't go through this alone. Don't go through this by yourself. If I didn't have my wife by my side, if to tell me, yo, we're doing okay, we're gonna be fine. If I didn't have, and you gotta be not just have somebody in your corner or anybody in your corner, you gotta be very particular, because there are a couple of worst case scenario people out there that the first thing they go through is the worst case. You know, you can't even cough during this COVID crisis, because they're gonna be like, oh, that sounds like a wet cough. That, you know what, you might want to go get that checked out. You know, this could be it right here for you. You know, and there's people out there who's like that, and now your mind is like, whoa, you know, that cough did feel kind of funny. It didn't feel like a regular cough, and so now you can't just have anybody in your corner. You got to be very selective. You got to be very particular, because somebody who's going to listen to what you're going through, someone who's rational, to say, you know what, okay, I can see how this can be a concern, but have you considered? You know, I was that person for my father to say, listen, you're outside walking and you can breathe just fine. You're not only are you on this intense walk, you're on the phone with me talking. Your breathing is better than mine's right now. And he was like, you know, I can hear the sigh of relief. And he was like, you know what? I feel much better talking to you. I said, oh, now you can go back upstairs and finish watching your cowboy show, huh? And you know, but it's very true. What happens is, some thoughts we cannot be left alone with. If you're left alone with certain thoughts, it can really consume your mind. Sometimes you gotta have that person you can just text them, or you can call them and say, listen, this was on my mind. Or, you know, someone you can just be vulnerable with and say, listen, I'm having another one of those moments. And that person will, okay, listen, let's talk through this. You know, let's talk through this. And so these are the steps, just 3 steps I didn't want to overwhelm you. Just 3 things that helped me out. Just different relaxation techniques, going to a safe place in your mind, maybe going on a walk, maybe going to the beach and just listening to the ocean. I mean, you need to have different things that you can go to, relaxation techniques that's going to help you to bring down those endorphins and those things that are released in your body that's causing you to get into this anxious state. And then number 2, you gotta confront your thoughts. You gotta be able to confront it and know what's true and what is relevant to your situation, so you're not out there going down some rabbit hole. And then number 3, don't go through it alone. I'm telling you, these things help me. There was times I woke up out of bed thinking I'm having a heart attack, and my wife had to get up and say, listen, calm down, listen to me, listen to what I'm saying. And I'm like, but you know what? And she said, stop it. You know, sometimes you need somebody to tell you, just stop it, okay? And then, because now I'm interrupting her sleep. But it really helped me to be like, man, I'm tripping right now, you know? And then I was able to just kind of have a quick conversation, lay back down and go to bed. And then from that moment now, I'm learning to implement these steps and apply them on a regular, because I know that dealing with anxiety is a constant. You know, so you and I've been good now, and we help each other. Even when this all came down with the coronavirus, we saw ourselves watching the news and feeling like a little anxious, and we have to, oh, wait, let's turn the TV off. Let's go ahead and work through this. And we keep each other grounded. And so make sure number 3, you have somebody that can help keep you grounded. And so I really hope this helped you. I don't want any type of anxiety to control your life and to push you. I mean, it can really interrupt your life. It really can. And so my hope and my prayers for you is that you can get into complete control of what you're feeling and what's going on in your mind, so that you can live your life. You have so much to accomplish. You have so much to achieve. And so I really hope this helped you. My name is Joshua Fakir. I want to thank you for joining me on Time Out. Remember, if you're thinking about number 3, I'll be happy to be someone who can help you to go through situations. This is the reason why my wife and I, we started our coaching business, our relationship and life coaching, because we know what it means to have somebody in your corner to help you overcome certain obstacles and to get out, to not be stagnant, to get to their dreams and your goals. So if you're looking for that kind of coaching, just check out our website. We'll be happy to work with you. But until our next time out together, I pray you're blessed, and I pray you have a great week, and I'll see you next week.